power of forgiveness saves lives. The power of letting go of resentment literally transforms and raises you into a vibration of like love, of gratitude, of harmony, of peace.
Welcome back to Mulligan Brothers. Today's video, as always, was sponsored by Huel. I'm drinking Huel Black Edition, which has 26 vitamins and minerals, 35 grams of protein and slow release carbs to make sure that I can stay satiated and proteined up whilst I make these documentaries. If you want to find out more about these, go to the link in the description. I'll talk about them a little bit later on in the video. One of the things that I find really interesting to talk about is resentment and holding or not forgiving people.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear about that firstly, but also how do you forgive people whilst also having boundaries in place?
This is good. I'll tell you, there was a lady that lived in my old apartment complex, and she looked like she was in her early 70s, and she was 103 years old. And I was just like, it don't make sense how she don't look old. I was like, how come you don't look so old? She said, old? Age doesn't make you old. It's when you let your life beat you down. That's what makes you old. When you're in relationships you know you don't want to be in and you stay in them. That's what makes you old. When you're living a life doing a bunch of things that you don't love and you keep doing them, it weighs on your spirit and your soul starts to sag. And she was like, that's where wrinkles come from. She's like, age doesn't make you old. And I was like, oh my God. I'm not going to wait till I'm about to die to start living. So it had me ask myself different questions. I'm like, why do I feel this heaviness on my life? And then I reached out just in the process of transforming my life to this girl named Tess from elementary. You know, I mean, 30-something years had passed, but my last memory of Tess, even after I had seen her and all this, the only memory I have of Tess is being on the bus, my big yellow backpack, pulling the drawstring over her head and hitting her with my backpack when I was like 7. It's the only memory I have. But surely kids don't remember after 30-something years. So I reached out to her. We were going back and forth. And I was like, hey, I just want to apologize to you. She was like, for what? You know, when we were little, I know you don't remember this, but I hit you over the head with a backpack. And I know kids do the stupidest things. And I'm so sorry for bullying you. And she didn't respond. And I'm like, we were just going back and forth. And so I was like, wait, why is she not responding? So I go on social media, public forum, and I do this public apology to Tess. Within 1 minute, she was like, can you please remove that? I'm in tears right now. I'm like, wait, what just happened? And then the Facebook bubble comes up when you know they're about to write. She said, 1, why did you do that? 2, what about me made you do that? 3, same thing is happening to my kids and I don't know what to tell them. I had no idea until that moment. People hold on to how you make them feel. And I was like, I am so sorry. Oh, I had no idea. She never responded. But then that inspired me to write a list of 250 names of anyone that I had ever hurt and anyone who had ever hurt me. And, you know, my spiritual advisor, Monica Zanz, did this activation with me. She was like, you know, write a letter from your big self to your little self with your dominant hand and apologize to him for leaving him, and then switch to your non-dominant hand and write a letter from your little self to your big self. And all these curse words coming out and all this, like the little kids, like, you and left me. You were ashamed of me. And I had no idea I was holding on inside of myself, all the resentment for abandoning myself. And I was like, whoa, and that inspired me to write a list of 250 names. I'm like, if I could do that to myself and I can do that to Tess, I can't imagine how many people I left. Every girl I'd ever cheated on, and somebody that I got into a fight with, and all these different things. So I wrote a list of 250 names with the intention of clearing and freeing up this energy that I was feeling when I was apologizing. It was just releasing inside of me. And the goal was not to get their response. The goal was to transform and clear my life. And however they responded was however they responded. I wasn't going to go to anybody and be like, well, you did this. No, I'm in full responsibility for my part. And if they hurt me, the part I'm responsible for was the resentment that I held towards them without blaming them for what they did. That is radical responsibility. Most people won't even do it. So I started doing it. And as I was doing it, one by one, I was apologizing and people were like, oh, wow, I totally forgot about that. And some people were like, oh, I've hated everything that you've posted for the last 15 years because of what you had done to me. I'm like, oh my goodness, there was an entire world of energy I knew nothing about. But every time I would apologize for my part, I would feel lighter. And then there was this one guy that I was in business with, and I didn't like him. He didn't like me. We were both athletes. So it's all this ego stuff. And both of our businesses was like this. And one day I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let somebody else change who I know that I am. I'm just going to choose to love no matter what. So I went out of my way to apologize to him for my part without saying anything that he did wrong. I went on social media. This was before I had any kind of influence or anything. I had posted something a day before that trip, and I didn't get no likes, barely any comments or anything. And I tagged like 50 people. I felt different after that conversation with that guy. It's like, I'm just a loving person. I'm just going to choose to love no matter what. So if there's anything that I'm holding on, I'm choosing to release that, and I'm going to let that person know. And I went back to social media, posted the exact same thing, but from a different energy. I didn't tag nobody. Next thing you know, there was like 1,000 likes, and there was all these shares. I'm like, you can literally see two of the same exact posts. The only difference was in energy. And I was like, holy crap, there's something here.
If you lead a busy life like me and millions of other people around the world, you might be struggling to get your nutrition in. That's where this stuff comes in, absolutely clutch. If health was easy, everyone would be doing it. But she'll make it that easy. You scoop, you shake, and you go, and you get 40 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and every single ingredient inside this and all of Huel's other products has been expertly tested by their team to make sure you're getting exactly what you need. And if I'm really in a pinch for time, I'll grab their ready to drink, which has 35 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and tastes delicious. Don't just take my word for it though. People like Idris Elba, Diver CEO Stephen Bartlett, and hardest geezer who ran the entire length of Africa use this as part of their daily routine. So if you want to find out more, go to the link down below. You can get exclusive offers, like if you sign up to their subscription service, you get 10% off all future orders. And if it's your first time ordering, you get a free shaker and t-shirt. It's also now available in major retailers in the UK and the US. What are you waiting for? Go get it.
So I started apologizing to all 250 people. This guy who bullied me, and he's like, why are you apologizing to me? I bullied you. I said, yeah, but what I did to you in my head was 1,000 times worse than anything that could have done. So I just want to apologize for my part. I'm doing this, and all of a sudden I'm watching people come into my business. I'm like, what is my business? Oh, wait a second. There was a universal order. Once I started forgiving and letting go and releasing resentment, it's almost like something was being replaced simultaneously. I forgive these three people. I mean, I let go of resentment towards these three people, three new people coming to my business. Not saying that that's going to happen, but I love puzzles. And I just start seeing, I'm like, man, most people won't even do the first one. Well, I did it 250 times from little kid up to present moment. All of this new energy and this power was coming up. And that gave me the strength as I come into closing to forgive the two men who murdered my father. Now, I didn't do it in person because I can't find them. But I used to wish death upon them and their families. And I'm standing on a stage in Boston, sold out crowd, and I truly let go. And I said, I'm ready to forgive. And I wish nothing but love for them and their family. They took my father's life, but they're not going to take mine. And I truly just let it go. At the end of that speaking engagement, some guy comes and walks up to me and he goes, man, I just want to apologize. And I'm like, for what? He said, 20 years ago, I went to prison for attempted murder. And I just got out last night. And I was going to murder the man tonight who snitched on me. But I saw what freedom looked like in flesh form through you. Thank you. I'm free. And I was like, and on behalf of those two men, I want to apologize on behalf of those two men. And it gave me the closure I had been wanting since I was 12 years old. And I broke down in tears. I was like, wow, the power of forgiveness saves lives. The power of letting go of resentment literally transforms and raises you into a vibration of like love, of gratitude, of harmony, of peace. So I saw the value in that and what it was clearly doing into my life. And so I said, I'm going to keep doing that. You are born looking like your mom and dad, but you will die looking like your decisions. I do not care how much money you have, how much influence you have. Are you actually happy?